is really hard work. You might not get a day off in weeks. When I knew that I needed to build a bulletproof buggy, I knew that I had to call in the experts, Al and Andrew.
Al, you got any ideas?
Yeah, got some ideas,
Oh, my cheeks are hurting.
That's about a 14-metre difference.
Lock her on. Oh, look at that.
If you're as good as that in the kitchen, you are marriage material.
Get back to work. With all the work that Terrain Tamer's doing, I'm really hoping that this buggy will be as strong as it possibly can. Well, mustering starts tomorrow, so this has got to be ready. Tomorrow.
No pressure.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That it does.
What do we got to do?
We've got to cut the roof, we've got to do belts and hoses. That's probably about it for this thing. And you've got to put a radiator in Jess's ute.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a few other little things that I want to do just to make sure it's Jess-proof.
Oh, that's what we've been trying to do all week, isn't it? Jess-proof it.
It's not quite Jess-proof yet.
Not there yet.
On the last day before we had to start mustering, we had so much to do, so it was such a rush to get everything done.
Come on, let's get into it.
Well, Jess, I hope you're sure about this next step, because once we start, there's no coming back. The first step is to remove the rear windows, preferably without breaking them.
Ah, come on. You winning over there?
I'm getting there. It's all right, we're chopping it.
Beautiful.
There's actually something quite soothing about this.
I can't say I've ever heard someone say that when pulling their vehicle apart, but each to their own.
When we first started cutting the shorty down, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But after that first cut, there was no turning back. It was a bull buggy.
We'll cut the roof, I reckon.
We've even got ourselves an audience. Jess wants to remove the roof so she can have easier access to her tyres. Also, if one of the bikes breaks down during the muster, she can easily transport it back to base.
Oh, I got this. Ah, no. Winning.
Oh well, I better go check on Al. He's been unsupervised for a little while.
You can't leave that man alone for 10 minutes, can you?
He's probably sleeping anyway. How you going?
Going? I tell you, if this radiator doesn't come up in a couple of minutes, it's going to go down.
This is why we don't leave you alone.
Let's have another look at this fool of a thing. Everything's loose. Well, was loose. Now, look, can you take that top hose off? And I think then it should come out, but it's driving me up the wall. If I can get the radiator out, then I'll have a drink of coolant.
You've been on the Kool-Aid. That's what you've been on.
Screw that around there a bit. Just try it rotary now, the whole thing. Yeah,
There we
that
go.
crack of noise. Phantasmagorical. Talk about a joint effort. Now, young lady, let's get hold of this. Just sort of wriggle it so all the dirt goes down. Up. So tilt the top towards the cabin and get out of the road. Yes, when you're towing this vehicle all over Australia like you do in the temperatures and country that you're going to, we're most concerned about having a decent cooling system.
Yep.
In your towing vehicle and your buggy. This radiator is actually out of your buggy. It had been damaged in the fins where the air is supposed to go through it. Probably 40% of it's damaged there, but it's rotten. You know, it's just rotten. Look at all that has fallen off. So we couldn't buy a radiator for yours, so we had to get one made, and we got it done made, put your tanks back on, sold it all together, and that's in. The guilty party, where we have a look at it, is in the top tank. 40% of these tubes are blocked. So that wouldn't cool you down, cool the buggy down when you're out in the scrub chasing whatever you chase. This is a radiator now in your towing vehicle. It's the same thing applies, really. These are okay, factory radiator, but they've got plastic tanks and they crack, they leak, they get hot. You're probably running in most extreme conditions of anybody I met, in actual fact.
Thanks. I'm proud of that.
Lots of things. I could be all day talking about this particular radiator. It's got stainless steel side pieces. These tanks are made with fully pressing, so they're all one piece. They're not welded everywhere. Very strong, probably twice as strong as any that I've seen. And then they're all put together and they're fused together at a certain temperature, so as we don't have to weld them. And we've never had a failure with them. We think they're the best radiator you can buy. Well, on this particular radiator, we've got a low warning indicator bolts in there to tell us a low water level.
Can't you just look at the temperature gauge?
The temperature gauge is only going to read if it's got water around the gauge. If it's got no water there because it's drained out overnight or just run out, it gradually, the temperature gauge has nothing to read. Everybody should have one. And we actually sell a unit that actually plugs in there if you want to. We advise people to do it. Plugs into there, wires back to the dashboard with a light or a buzzer in the dashboard. I reckon it's a great idea. So zip them out, kid. Good little bag, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you've gone to the effort of pulling the radiator out, then you'd be crazy not to replace the hoses at the same time.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
That's beautiful. That's kindergarten stuff. We learnt that at kindergarten in the air. Don't like it. Anyway, that's personal.
Old belts, hoses and filters can cause big problems in a vehicle, and seeing as the ones in the buggy haven't been changed in donkeys, we're going to replace them all with new ones. Jess has no intentions of towing with the buggy, so the tow ball becomes a liability. To improve the departure angle off-road, we're getting rid of it.
Well, he seems to have everything under control now.
We're mounting the UHF to the bonnet, so it's less likely to get damaged by a tree when tearing through the scrub.
I reckon what we'll do is I'll make a little plate, like a big washer to put under it out of a bit of your old C-pillar.
Yeah, right.
You can't be part of a mustering team without a UHF.
Cool hammer.
Come out of Alan's toolbox.
It was different working with Al and Andrew this time. Last time when we were working on my ute, I was just watching them, they were teaching me. This time, I have a little bit of knowledge behind me, so I could actually help them. I didn't feel useless.
I tell you what, this has been one heck of a project, and I think we're all ready to kick back and have a couple of days off. But first, tomorrow's the big test. We'll see if this mustering buggy we've built's up to the task. There is excitement in the air, and we all need a good night's sleep, ready for a very early start. Coming up on the next episode...
Well, today's the day. Got to get into mustering. The buggy's ready. I've been waiting for this for months.
Al, Dilla, Jess.
It's Jeff.
Yes, Jess. I'll call you a lot worse things by the end of the day.
Cattle mustering, 4-wheel drives, best day at work ever.
It can be absolutely chaotic when you're out there mustering.
They're not real keen on that helicopter, are they?
There's 4, 5 cows here, Billy.
This is where I learned to drive properly.
No wonder you're all over the road.